Welcome back to the channel, US Rare Coins News, Top 1. Today we are looking at a coin that millions of people have seen, but very few realize some versions of it can actually be worth far more than 50 cents. The 1776 to 1976 Kennedy half dollar was created to celebrate 200 years of American independence. At first glance it looks like a normal half dollar. But hidden in this coin are special silver versions, rare mint varieties, and a design that makes it one of the most recognizable coins in modern American history, and by the end of this video, you'll know exactly what to look for on your own coin, including a small detail that can make a big difference in value. Take a close look at the coin, hold it up to the camera and let the light hit it. You'll notice right away that the date looks unusual. Instead of a single year, the coin shows 1776 to 1976. That's because it was made to honor the bicentennial of the United States. Now focus on the front. The obverse shows the familiar portrait of John F. Kennedy, facing left. This design has appeared on the half dollar since 1964, shortly after Kennedy's presidency. The portrait was created by Gilroy Roberts, and over the decades it has become one of the most recognizable faces in American coinage. If you're filming this part, a slow close-up across the portrait works well. Let viewers see the details in Kennedy's hair and the sharp lettering around the rim. Now flip the coin over. This is where the bicentennial version becomes completely different from other Kennedy half dollars. Instead of the usual presidential seal, the reverse shows Independence Hall in Philadelphia. The design was created by Seth G. Huntington, and it captures the historic building where the Declaration of Independence was debated and signed. If you're editing the video, show a slow zoom toward the building so viewers can see the windows, clock tower, and architectural details. That building is Independence Hall, one of the most important historic sites in American history. Now here's something many people don't realize: although millions of bicentennial half dollars were produced, not all of them are the same. Most were made with a copper-nickel composition and released into circulation. These are the ones people often find in old jars or coin collections, but special collector versions were also struck with 40% silver at the San Francisco Mint. If you happen to find one of those silver coins in excellent condition, its value can be significantly higher than face value. Collectors also look closely for mint errors. Some bicentennial half dollars show doubled lettering, off-center strikes, or small die cracks. Because the design has large flat surfaces, certain errors are easier to spot than on smaller coins. Imagine checking the date or the word Liberty and noticing the letters look slightly doubled. That small detail can instantly make a collector take a second look. Condition is another huge factor. Many of these coins circulated during the late 1970s and developed scratches and wear. Finding one with sharp details and bright surfaces is much harder than people expect. That's why collectors often send their best coins to grading companies like Professional Coin Grading Service or Numismatic Guarantee Company. These experts evaluate the coin carefully and assign a grade based on its preservation. And now for the question everyone asks: what is this coin actually worth? A typical circulated 1776 to 1976 Kennedy half dollar is usually worth about 50 cents to $2 depending on condition. Uncirculated coins with clean surfaces can sell for around $5 to $20. The 40% silver versions can sell for more because of their metal content and collector demand, and high-grade certified examples have sold for several $100s at auction when the condition is nearly perfect. So the next time you see one of these half dollars, take a closer look, check the dual date, look at the reverse design, and pay attention to the coin's condition. You might discover something collectors are still interested in today. Now I'm curious. Do you own a bicentennial Kennedy half dollar, or have you ever found an interesting coin hiding in your change or an old collection? Top 2. Today we are looking at a coin that many people once spent without thinking twice, yet some examples of it have quietly sold for far more than 50 cents. The coin is the 1972 D. Kennedy half dollar. It looks like a simple half dollar from the early 1970s, but hidden inside this coin's story are mint errors, collector demand, and one detail that can make a big difference in value. So if you've ever seen one of these coins in an old jar, a family collection, or even in bank rolls, you might want to take a closer look. Because by the end of this video, you'll know exactly what to check and why some of these coins attract serious attention from collectors. Let's start by looking closely at the coin. Hold it up to the camera and let the light hit the surface. The Kennedy half dollar is larger than most modern coins, which is one reason collectors enjoy examining them. On the front you'll see the portrait of John F. Kennedy, facing left. The word Liberty stretches across the top edge, and the year 1972 sits just below Kennedy's portrait. If you look closely near the date, you'll notice a small letter D. That mint mark tells us this coin was struck at the Denver Mint. When filming this part, a slow close-up across Kennedy's portrait works really well. The details in the hair and lettering stand out when the camera moves gently across the coin. Now flip the coin over. The reverse design shows the presidential seal of the United States. In the center you'll see an eagle with its wings spread wide, holding arrows and an olive branch. Surrounding the eagle are 50 stars representing the states of the Union. This design was created by Frank Gasparo, and when you look closely, the details in the feathers and shield are surprisingly sharp. If you're editing the video, this is a perfect moment for a slow rotating shot of the coin so viewers can see the eagle catching the light. Now here's where things start to get interesting. By 1972, the Kennedy $50 was no longer made with silver for circulation. Earlier coins from the 1960s contained silver, but by the early 1970s the composition had changed to copper and nickel. That means most 1972 Kennedy $50 aren't valuable for their metal alone. Instead, collectors focus on two things: condition and mint errors, and this is where a small detail can make a big difference. Some coins show doubled lettering in the words Liberty or In God We Trust. Others display die cracks or slightly off-center strikes. These minting mistakes are uncommon, and when collectors spot them, the coin suddenly becomes far more interesting. Imagine examining the coin under a magnifier and noticing the letters appear slightly doubled. That tiny feature can turn an ordinary coin into something collectors actively search for. Condition also plays a major role. Many Kennedy $50 circulated for years and developed scratches or worn surfaces. Finding one with bright luster and sharp details can be surprisingly difficult after more than 50 years. That's why collectors often submit their best coins to grading companies like Professional Coin Grading Service or Numismatic Guarantee Company. These experts carefully evaluate the coin and assign a grade based on its condition. Now let's talk about the real market value. A typical circulated 1972 Kennedy $50 is usually worth about 50 cents to $2 depending on its condition. Uncirculated examples with strong detail can sell for around $5 to $15. But coins graded at the very highest levels have sold for well over $100 at auction, especially when the surfaces are nearly flawless, and certain error coins can sell for even more depending on the type of mistake and how clearly it appears on the coin. So the next time you see one of these $50, don't ignore it, check the date, look for the D mint mark, and inspect the lettering and surfaces carefully. You might discover something collectors are still searching for. Now I'd love to hear from you. Do you own a 1972 Kennedy $50, or have you ever found an unusual coin hiding in your change or an old coin jar? Top 3. Today we are looking at a coin that millions of Americans used in their pockets, yet some of them are quietly worth far more than 50 cents. The 1983 Kennedy $50 may look ordinary at first, but collectors know there are hidden details and rare variations that can make this coin a real gem. At first glance, it's a standard $50 from the 1980s, but by the end of this video, you'll see why certain versions are sought after, and how a small feature can make a coin worth several times its face value. Let's start by looking closely at the coin. Hold it up to the light and notice the large, bold design. The obverse shows the familiar portrait of John F. Kennedy, facing left. The word Liberty stretches across the top, and 1983 sits at the bottom. Look just to the right of the date and you'll see a small D. That tells us this coin was minted at the Denver Mint. If you're filming this, a slow pan across Kennedy's face lets viewers see the subtle details in his hair, the crisp lettering, and the overall design that's become so iconic over the decades. Now flip the coin over. The reverse shows the presidential seal, with the eagle clutching arrows and an olive branch, surrounded by a circle of stars. The design was created by Frank Gasparo, and when you tilt the coin in light, the details in the feathers and shield really pop. A slow rotating shot here will highlight the depth of the engraving, making viewers feel like they can almost reach out and touch it. Now here's where it gets interesting. By 1983, the Kennedy $50 no longer contains silver in circulation strikes. That means the coin isn't valuable for its metal like earlier issues, but there are still things that make collectors pay attention. Some 1983 D half dollars show mint errors like doubled letters, die cracks, or slight off-center strikes. These variations are uncommon, and spotting one instantly makes the coin more desirable. Even small details matter. A tiny doubling in the word liberty or a faint misalignment on the eagle's wing can elevate a coin from ordinary to collectible. And because millions were produced, most coins circulated heavily and show wear, making high-grade examples harder to find than you might think. Condition plays a huge role. Coins with bright surfaces and sharp details can be significantly more valuable than those with scratches or worn faces. That's why many collectors send their coins to grading companies like Professional Coin Grading Service or Numismatic Guarantee Company, which carefully assign a grade based on the coin's preservation. Now let's talk value. A circulated 1983 D Kennedy half dollar is generally worth around 50 cents to $1. Uncirculated examples with strong detail may sell for $5 to $15. Coins with high-grade certification or notable mint errors have sold for several dozen dollars, and in some rare cases, collectors have paid even more depending on the rarity and quality of the error. So the next time you find one of these coins in a jar, a drawer, or even rolled up in a coin roll, take a closer look. Check the date, the D mint mark, and inspect the coin for any subtle anomalies. You might have a coin that collectors would be excited to own. Now I want to hear from you. Do you own a 1983 D Kennedy half dollar? Or have you ever discovered a coin you didn't realize was collectible? Tell me in the comments. I love hearing stories about hidden treasures in everyday change. Top 4. Today we are looking at a coin that most people passed over in the 1970s, but today, certain examples of it quietly attract collectors and even sell for far more than 50 cents. The 1973 Kennedy half dollar may look ordinary at first glance, but hidden in this coin are details that can make it surprisingly valuable. At first, it seems like just another half dollar from the 1970s, but by the end of this video, you'll know exactly what to look for: rare mint errors, unique features, and even condition factors that can turn a simple coin into a collectible gem. Let's start by examining the coin closely. Hold it up to the light, and you'll notice the classic design that's been familiar since 1964. On the obverse, there's the portrait of John F. Kennedy, facing left. The word Liberty stretches across the top, and the date 1973 is just below the portrait. On this particular coin, a small D mint mark near the date tells us it was produced at the Denver Mint. If you're filming this, a slow close-up across Kennedy's face will reveal the fine details in his hair and the crisp lettering. This is where collectors often check for subtle doubling or sharpness that sets certain coins apart. Now flip the coin over. The reverse shows the presidential seal, with the eagle holding arrows and an olive branch. Around the eagle are stars representing the states of the Union. This design was created by Frank Gasparo, and when you tilt the coin under light, the texture in the feathers and shield really stands out. A slow rotating shot here works perfectly for video, letting viewers appreciate the depth of the design. Here's where it gets interesting. By 1973, Kennedy half dollars no longer contain silver for circulation. That means the coin isn't valuable for its metal content. Instead, collectors focus on condition and mint errors. Some 1973 D coins display subtle doubling in letters, die cracks, or minor misalignments. These small variations can instantly make a coin more desirable. Even tiny details matter. A slight doubling in Liberty or a small misalignment on the eagle's wing could turn an everyday coin into a collectible. Many coins were handled heavily in circulation, so high-grade examples with sharp surfaces are actually harder to find than you might think. Condition plays a huge role. Coins with bright surfaces, sharp details, and minimal wear can sell for significantly more than typical circulated examples. That's why many collectors submit their best coins to grading services like Professional Coin Grading Service or Numismatic Guarantee Company, which assign a grade to reflect the coin's preservation. Now for the value. A typical circulated 1973 D Kennedy half dollar is usually worth around 50 cents to $1. Uncirculated coins with strong detail may sell for $5 to $15. Coins graded at high levels, or with notable mint errors, can sell for several dozen dollars, and in rare cases, even more depending on rarity and condition. So the next time you find one of these coins in a jar, a drawer, or even a coin roll, don't ignore it. Check the date, the mint mark, and inspect the lettering and surfaces carefully. You might discover a coin collectors are still hunting for. Now I want to hear from you. Do you own a 1973 D. Kennedy half dollar? Or have you ever found an unusual coin in your change or old collection? Tell me in the comments. I love hearing stories about unexpected coin discoveries. If you enjoyed learning about coins that could be hiding value, make sure you like this video, subscribe to the channel, and watch the next one where we uncover another coin that millions of people overlook, but collectors still actively seek today.